like an absolute cutie pie, but she could rip a man's throat out.
Right. It chooses not to. It just wants to love and be loved.
Yeah, and she wasn't even like it was. Oh man, because like if she was around my cousin kid, who was like a
Yeah.
baby at the time, she would come up real close with like the low head,
Mm-hmm.
like the wide eyes, and like it's like almost like the face they make when they're in trouble, but she's just being like so gentle with the baby.
Right.
Versus like if I'm in the yard sparring with my friends, she'll headbutt you.
Haha.
At first, we thought she didn't like fighting. We thought
Yeah.
she didn't like to see fighting. But I think she just didn't like people fighting without her. She wanted to get in there.
I see.
She's like, when is my turn?
That's funny. That's adorable. What a beautiful
She
creature.
also might have not liked bad form. She'd be
Ah.
like, dude, your form's off. You're wide open. I'm gonna headbutt you to teach you.
That's hilarious. It's true though. They have that kind of intelligence where they want to train their owners. Absolutely.
Dude, oh man, I can't wait. I'm volunteering at a animal shelter, the SPCA.
Yeah.
It's
That's
coming
awesome.
up week after next.
Oh,
That's gonna be huge.
that was awesome.
So I don't really function well without, my dogs. I need to be around dogs. I love dogs. She was a specimen, bro. She was strong as an ox. She was quick. She could jump.
She had everything, eh? It's beautiful.
The complete dog.
The complete dog.
She had a
Nothing out
fan
of
club.
place. Oh, really? That's so sweet.
I would before my cousin could drive. And
Yeah.
now she has her own car, but back in the day, I would always take her to work, pick her up from work, and I would bring Kaya with me.
Oh.
So like her coworkers were like the Kaya's fan club.
Oh.
Yeah. People would come up to the window, like want to pet her. Or they would see her on her Snapchat story and just be obsessed with her.
That's adorable. And she got so much love in her life. It's awesome.
She gave way more than she got.
Mm.
Always, definitely something to look up to.
Yeah, for real. That's the best way to be. Absolutely. To just be able to give love freely and not even worry about it being reciprocated because it just comes back to you naturally by the laws of the universe. You don't have to worry. You can just freely express love and everything is okay.
You know, Duncan Russell, I believe.
Duck and Trussell,
Is
yeah.
that
Yeah, I know Duck and Trussell.
he had some quote that was like, "Yeah, dogs are like space heaters, but with love.
Huh.
They're like love, space lovers.
Space
They just
lovers.
fill any room you put them in with love."
For real. It's absolutely true. They just radiate good vibes.
Yeah, there's something about pit bulls. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, my friend has
'Cause I
one.
love them.
His pit bull is absolute sweetheart. Never hurt anybody. And the one single time, did he bite somebody, and I swear, the only reason he did it was to get her out of a bad situation. Like, he did it to change like the course of like the night so that she wouldn't get hurt.
That's a smart dog.
I agree. And it wasn't like a deep bite or anything, but he like bit her right on the face, and like everyone believes though it was because we were smoking weed in the room, but like me, I was like tripping balls, and I felt like, no, that dog knew something not right was gonna go down, and that dog did what it had to do.
Dogs do. They don't like when people are all messed up.
For real. And it wasn't. I wouldn't even say anything like too messed up was really happening. It was just I think that girl was gonna make a mistake that was gonna hurt somebody that night.
Well, just like people being like less than sober. For
Right.
some reason, dogs, especially with psychedelics.
Hmm.
Like my friend used to talk about how him and his friends would take, LSD and go to the Philadelphia Zoo,
Right.
and the monkeys would go nuts. And the tigers would wake up and like look weird, and like they would get more reactions out of the animals because something about the dilated pupils and stuff. The animals are like, there's something up, something
Nah,
wrong
I
with
feel
him.
you.
They
Though
don't like
I
that.
I don't know if they inherently don't like it though. Like I've had a lot of really good experiences with animals on psychedelics for sure. Like it hasn't been
They
all
probably
bad.
bang with you personally.
Yeah, I think it's really just the vibe you carry, right? Like if you're tense, you're anxious, then they can sense that. And psychedelics can definitely amplify that. Make your tension more apparent, make you radiate those vibes outwards more intensely. But if you can get your zen going, then they can be a catalyst for even more relaxation. And if you do that, then animals they'll pick up on that for sure.
People see a separation between like de-escalation, like emotional manipulation, not in a negative way, but just using like communication tactics to change someone's behavior. Like say they're tweaking out, you want them to calm down. There are
Mm,
two ways to go about it. You can talk to them a certain way, you can look at them a certain way, and you can
right,
like move, like posture yourself to make them soothing,
right.
or you could like dominate them physically. There's not
Yes.
so much a disconnect between those two.
Right.
Like if I present myself to like a a stray dog
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very powerful to the point where like I'm intimidating it, but I'm also very sweet with my voice and the like I'm approaching it without fear, but I'm approaching it with compassion.
Right.
So it's like understanding like, oh, this guy, he could do whatever he wants to me,
But he's choosing not
but
to.
he's like chill. He's chill.
Right.
So like I want to get along with him. In
Exactly.
martial arts, I don't know how I got on this, but in
You're
martial
good.
arts is like you want to emotionally manipulate your opponent to exploit their weaknesses and magnify your strengths.
Hmm. Right. That's like there's something primal about that, like how animals will try and make themselves appear bigger to
Yeah,
predators and whatnot, so that they're less likely for them to get picked on. You have to display strength.
yeah. Oh yeah, I was talking about stray dogs. So yeah, like I want to approach the dog in a way where I seem intimidating to the point where it doesn't want to bite me,
Right.
afraid
But
to bite
still,
me.
but still be chill.
And at the same time, I want to approach it in a way where I'm super nice. So it's like, why would I bite him? He's nice.
Right.
So
For
you want to
sure.
like the two things, they're not separate. They actually work together.
Yeah. Absolutely. Um.
That's why people love gentle giants.
Right. There's
Nothing like a
nothing.
gentle giant. Nothing like an English Mastiff that'll just come up and lay, next to a baby. That's
Right.
like the best thing in the
Absolutely.
world.
You're so right about that. It's. There's a juxtaposition in knowing that um something has the power but chooses not to use it. That's profound. It means
Well,
more than not
you
having the
just
power.
having the power, you use it.
In a way,
Like
yeah.
okay, so say I had a bad business deal. I'm like a 1930s mafia guy, and I go into a room,
Yeah.
or not even 1830s,
Okay.
just to make it more simplistic.
Right.
And I have a beef with this guy, and I need to negotiate with him.
Right.
And I'm bigger than him. I'm a bigger guy.
Right.
So I walk into the room. I'm bigger than him. The conversation might go, "Hey." Now, in the second situation, that guy's holding a sword.
Hmm.
He's not pointing it at me. It's just kind of on
Just
his hip.
holding it.
He has a
Yeah.
sword right there. I might talk to him nicer. I might negotiate better. Things
For
might
sure.
work out better.
For sure. You're right. Now,
I think
here's
that's a masculine thing, is the underlying threat of escalation actually keeping things very cordial.
yes, it definitely can. Um, I'll ask you a question. Do you think then nuclear weapons are a necessary evil?
Necessary evil. They're
Because
certainly evil.
yes, but
What about the necessary part?
it's that same principle of
I guess
having so much
when one
power.
person when one person had it, it became necessary for the other guy to have one too.
Right, and but now that two people have them, it forces like a sort of peace because the stakes now are so high that no one wants to use that force. They know the consequences of what would happen if there was an escalation, and because of that, there is less escalation. Similar to how you will treat the person with the big sword better than the person who doesn't have one.
Yeah, people like to think they're above that.
Mm-hmm.
They like to think they've conquered their base instincts, but they really haven't. They just
Absolutely not.
haven't been presented with a situation where those base instincts come out
Right.
because they're in a coddled, pretty nice first world developed situation.
Right.
If there are two rooms, both rooms have 8 people. Room A, there is one gun. A random person has a gun. Room B, 2 random people have a gun.
Mm.
I'd rather step into room B.
Yes.
I'd
Agreed.
rather, I would rather, if, I'd rather there be no guns.
Yes.
If there's going to be one gun, I'd rather everyone have a gun.
Agreed. 100%.
But I think two is better than one.
Yes. Because one person can make a mistake. You know, one person, especially if you feel you have more power than everyone else, you are prone to making a mistake. More prone, I believe. Like, it's not everyone that will react that way, but power does lead to a different kind of thinking. Um, I wouldn't always say that power necessarily corrupts, but it does change the way that you perceive the world and the way that you react to things.
I like to surround myself with powerful people.
Mm-hmm.
As powerful as I can manage, I'm not
Right.
hanging out with freaking ex-Navy SEALs and stuff because I'm not on that level.
Right.
But people who are my age that I get around with and that I hang out with and we do stuff,
Right. I respect
they're
that and I
pretty,
feel it.
they're pretty powerful,
Right.
and to the point where they'll check me.
Yes, and that's so
Like
valuable.
if I say something that's not polite, they'll be like, they'll look at me weird.
Right.
If I do something that's out of line, like they'll be like, "Yo, what, what, what's going on?"
Right. And then you gotta listen to it. You know, it's good to have
Uh,
people there that are able to check you and to to listen. You know.
They're also all positively mindset. They're very constructive. They're the
Right.
type of people to go out of their way to help someone who otherwise wouldn't have gotten that help.
Right. So they're good people. They're good people.
Yeah, you should surround yourself with good people, but those good people should be powerful.
If you can, yeah, definitely. And there's no need to shy away from weak people per se, but they won't give you the same thing that powerful people can. You shouldn't shy away from powerful people
I think you should surround yourself with people who are better than you. I
if you
don't
can.
think I'm better than any of my friends. I think the friends that I'm better than, I'm not friends with them anymore.
Interesting.
I'm like, bro, if you're not even like, I'm pretty whack. I'm not doing. If you're not doing better than me, I'm not gonna help you. You're not gonna help me.
I
You know?
feel you. Now, I have like a little bit of a rebuttal to that in that there's a
Okay.
kind of humility that can come from being with people who appear to be worse off than you are. and allowing yourself to view them as equals and take into consideration their circumstances, it grounds you in a way. Because just being with somebody who is on what appears to be a lower level than you will bring out some parts of you that you may not find in other
I guess
situations.
the metrics matter.
Hmm.
What's most important to me is the moral good.
Right.
Like, I guess that's. Let me look up the classic Stoic virtues. Yeah, because I'm not one of those guys who are like, oh, I want to hang out with people who make a lot of money so I can make a lot of money.
Right.
Like, like in some parameters, I'm better than my friends,
Right.
but in the parameters that I think are very important, I think they're as good or better than me.
Right.
So the four virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice.
Hmm. Those
Yeah,
are the
so
metrics by which you feel like you judge people by when you're looking
I
for a
think those are
companion.
like the more important things. Yeah, there are
Right.
things that are added onto those
Right.
as you develop, but those are the core fundamentals.
I feel that.
I had a friend who he was very courageous, but he lacked in temperance, he lacked
Hmm.
in wisdom. He had a good sense of justice, but when his sense of justice waned, I had to remove myself from that situation
Right.
because I'm like, oh, his compass is misaligned.
Right.
I'm
Yes.
liable to have a misaligned compass, so if we both tap in, we'll actually wreck each other.
Right.
So it's better if we separate, even though it's painful, we'll both be better off.
Absolutely. I respect that. I feel it. It's to have some of the qualities and not the other ones can be some of the most disastrous things. And I feel like that's why you have a lot of people who are like spiritual gurus but haven't really gone all the way along the path, and then they end up abusing people. They take advantage of the others because they have gained that power through honing certain aspects of their personality, but they haven't actually like evenly worked their whole persona out and smoothed out all of the ridges. So there's still that little bit of shadow inside them that's unconscious, and it gets expressed. You know, being 99% of the way there is not the same as being 100% of the way there.
How does sociopathy play into the picture? Does that throw a wrench in the works? Does that override the whole system?
What do you mean by that?
Because, so let me look up the definition of a sociopath.
Word.
Mental health condition in which a person consistently shows no regard for right or wrong and ignores the rights and feelings of others.
Right.
So that's someone who fundamentally has a different view of the
Brains.
world than me.
Yeah, fundamentally different brain structure. It's
Is
not the
it brain
same.
structure? Is
It
that where it
is.
stems from?
Yeah, like people with sociopathy, I believe, indeed have like different brain structure than people who don't. And one could say that it may not be entirely correlated, but also causated. You know, like the fact that they view the world differently causes their brain structure to change as well. But also, where's the viewpoint coming from, if not from the way that their brain is structured? Most people are born with
Where do you,
sociopathy, or they develop it
um,
after a head injury or a severe trauma.
so as far as the nature versus nurture, are you leaning towards the fact that sociopaths are, or towards the view that sociopaths are sociopaths by nature more so than nurture?
Definitely, it can be, yes. I would say that what develops out of nurture is something different than like the typical sociopathy. Because like there's like the type of sociopathy where like a person is truly incapable of like seeing other people's emotions and other people like they just could not physically care about it. But then there's this other kind of pseudo sociopathy that happens in a lot of people where they just become very apathetic to other people's emotions and feelings, and that's a learned behavior. And I feel like that in particular is very different than the kind of sociopathy that you see where, say, somebody hits their head really hard and they wake up the next day and they just don't give a flying fuck about anything that happens to other people.
Yeah, I guess who was the bull? Kuklinski, the Iceman, the mafia dude. You ever heard of him?
Not sure, to be honest.
I'm having trouble remembering the name. Kuklinski, Joseph Kuklinski. That's got to be it, right?
Word.
No, that's it. Yeah. No. Okay, Joseph Kuklinski was the brother to the Iceman. So
Okay.
this was a mafia, uh, what assassin? I guess you would call him.
Mm.
He wasn't
Iceman.
part of the mafia. He was like a contractor to the mafia,
Right.
and he interests me because he was a cold-blooded killer
Right.
who murdered countless people, but he had morals.
Right.
I don't agree with his morals, but he wouldn't hurt women, he wouldn't hurt children,
Right.
he would murder any man for any reason. He would murder people out of, anger, out of perceived disrespect.
Interesting.
And in the interview, he would talk about how if it was any other way, he wouldn't be what he was. He would be a hitman. But he also claimed to not have a feeling one way or the other. Like he didn't mind the killings, like the way that I don't mind wiping my ass. It's just
Yeah.
kind of it's not my favorite thing. I would not do it. It's just something I do.
Right.
Something you gotta do. He had like a similar emotion towards killing people.
Yeah. That's insanely fascinating.
He he's not he has a completely different mindset than me, a different base of morality, but he's
Yeah.
not quite a sociopath.
No, I wouldn't say so either. I would say that there is a learned behavior versus like a total sociopathy. Like a sociopathy would not care either way.
So a sociopath has like a alligator brain
Yes, I would say
in
that
a
is
way.
a very good way of putting it. Yes, an alligator brain.
Who's an example of a sociopath? Albert Fish?
I don't know who Albert Fish is.
Oh, you don't want to. Forget I
Okay.
said that.
You probably
Unless
definitely
you're
right
really
about
into
that.
like dark content.
Nah, I hate dark content.
Oh
I
yeah,
like
probably
I like
not.
to,
I
I
don't
like to
know who's
pretend the world is all flowery.
They say a lot of CEOs
Go
are
away.
sociopaths.
I would say that a lot of them, at least some of them, might be sociopaths by nature, and a bunch of them become it with the culture because just being surrounded by people who don't care whatsoever will teach you not to care. But if they were taken out of that environment, I feel a lot of them would lose that. I think the difference between like a true sociopath and somebody who's just learned to be a sociopath is whether or not they would stay that way taken out of the circumstances that they're in.
Is it like a retardation in the sense that a sociopath cannot empathize? They don't have the ability to put themselves in another person's shoes?
Yes, I would say yeah. It's like a physical deformity in their mind.
Okay. I don't I bet that's not even overrepresented in criminality that much.
Hmm. What do you mean by that?
I think as far as like the lower crimes, like what do they call it? White collar crimes would be like stealing money from a bank and like wire transfer away.
Right.
I don't think a sociopath would just murder someone on the street
I
because that
agree with
wouldn't
you.
really them because they would have all these issues to deal with.
Right.
So they're not even evil. They're almost just blizzardic.
Yes, I would agree with you. 100%. To have
What
no
an
empathy
interesting
doesn't.
concept.
I know, right? To have no empathy doesn't inherently make you evil by any means. But it can. It can.
Yeah, like if they could get away with it and if it suited them, they would kill you. Yeah, like
Yeah.
why not? That'd be like me stepping on a mosquito.
Right. And
But
is
they
stepping on a
wouldn't go out of
mosquito
their way.
sociopathic?
Like
No.
I'm not gonna go to Kentucky to kill a mosquito
Mm-hmm.
because I love killing mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
I would just kill a mosquito because it was doing something to me and I could get away with it.
Right.
So but they don't like consider like that person's cousin's friend who's gonna hear about it and be like 3 times removed from the situation and still have an awful month and then
Nah.
impacted for the rest of their life.
Yeah, they
That's just
don't
like
think
not a
about it.
capacity in their brain.
Not a capacity at all. No, they don't see it. Which is just fascinating to me. How do you judge somebody like that?
Partially,
Right.
I don't want to torture them. Probably put them in like a building that's very secure
An
where they get
institution of some
food
sort. Yeah.
and sun and water, but they can't really interact with society.
Right. Because, yeah, if it's real bad, then you don't even have, like, the ability to rehabilitate them, you know? Because, then it's just not in their capacity. Though, who knows, though, what,
That's
like,
not proven.
that isn't proven, you're right. Who knows what something like heavy dissociative therapy or something could do to a sociopath? Like, things that stimulate new neuronal growth may have very
Oh
interesting
no,
effects in people with sociopathy. I imagine it could definitely go either way. It can make it worse or it can make it better.
I gotta take a leak and then do you want to get into MK Ultra?
I'm super down. The fair Great Swamp. What a place. What a place, fellas. If anyone's watching right now, I hope you're having a wonderful time. I don't think there is, but for those of you that may show up later once the stream is uploaded, hope you're doing blessed.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I gotta Google a couple things.
Of course, take your time. I'm just out here killing these slugs. These slug monsters. We're having such a great conversation. I wish there were more people in the stream. Right now, it's pretty empty. No one is worthy enough to witness this.
Is it an odd hour? I guess it's Sunday, 11:30. Who the hell's watching YouTube at this hour?
Absolutely.
Type meme.
Yeah.
Ray Liotta.
There'll be people who will see it later for sure. And that's cool. I think this one was a really good conversation. Like, probably the best conversation I've had on stream so far.
I was about to say that's sad, but maybe it is good.
I don't
Maybe
think it's
I'm
sad.
just a depressed asshole.
Yeah, no, I think this has been good. I think you, again, you're too hard on yourself, man. Oh, come on. Walk right into
Yeah,
like
I'm
a
trying to not.
campfire.
I guess I should just not judge, period.
Yes, exactly.
I should just consider the factors.
Right.
What is?
When
Dude,
you
I'm about to make the dumbest Google search ever.
what is
Mob guy who who did LSD
mob guy who
in
did LSD
prison.
in prison?
Mob guy who did LSD in prison. Janet Ullers regrets and tells us Bulger. James Whitey Bulger.
James Whitey
James
Bulger.
Whitey Bulger.
That
Boop,
sounds
boop.
familiar. I might have heard about this guy, to be honest with you.
So he's some sort of crime boss.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Rikers Island? Is that it?
Hmm.
He's one of those like uh, big name prisons.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard of Rikers.
Yeah, so 56, Bulger served his first term in federal prison at Atlanta Penitentiary for armed robbery and truck hijacking.
Hmm.
He later told mobster Kevin Weeks that while there, he was used as a human subject in the CIA-sponsored MKUltra program.
Crazy.
Bulger later complained that the inmates had been recruited by deception and were told
Hmm.
that they were helping to find a cure for schizophrenia, when in fact they were being used to research mind control. Evidence of the experiments was later confirmed when CIA documented emerged. Bulger and 18 other inmates, all of whom had volunteered in exchange for reduced sentences, were given LSD and other drugs over an 18-month period. He described his experience as nightmarish and said it took him to the depths of insanity, writing in his notebooks that he heard voices, feared being committed for life if he admitted to this to anyone.
Word. That's crazy.
So yeah, he's in a federal prison in Atlanta. You know, for 18 months, he's taking acid like once a day or
That's insane.
whatever they did.
Yeah, they would pump them up like repeatedly, like over long
Dosing
periods of
him
time.
with as much acid as he can tolerate.
Yep.
And then he goes to Alcatraz,
Holy crap.
which is a freezing cold island where nothing lives but
Right.
suffering. All you get is that New York sea breeze. The air is probably really nice though. It's probably like a nice salty, crisp air.
Yeah. Well, that's something to look forward to, at least.
Probably some like birds flying around. I don't know.
True. There's gotta at least be like grass or something.
Well, it looks quite nice now. It's overgrown. There's cool architecture. It's kind of brutalist, kind of neat.
Oh, nice.
Probably not neat to go there to live in a cage after you've been taking acid for 18 months, given to you by the CIA.
Yeah, I bet. It's really crazy, man. I always wonder how I would have reacted. Because, like, now I'd be, like, MK Ultraing myself willingly. But what was it like to be in an experiment
Mm.
with you know, like, I think a lot of the people who were able to experiment on humans like that were probably like natural sociopaths. Like,
Is the system sociopathic in its structure?
is the system sociopathic in its structure? In a way, yeah, I would say. Because it's a system and it's not a human.
Does the corporate system simply bring out the most negative and most chimpanzee-like traits in humans?
Most reptilian,
don't
I
know.
would say. We really prize on like that ancient lobster brain of ours. We just crave dominance and to be atop hierarchies.
You need to clean your room, Bucko, because if you give a lobster antidepressants, it'll hold its claws higher.
Yar.
No, when a girl lobster loves a man lobster very much.
Their serotonin levels get higher.
And that's why Donald Trump is the embodiment of Christ. I turned into like Kramer or something. That was terrible.
It started out pretty good though. Not gonna lie.
Making Kramer, Jordan Peterson fusion. Ha!
Ooh, oh,
Kramerson.
that would make a good skit. Jordan Peterson and Seinfeld. I'd watch that for sure.
What you need to understand about the Soup Nazis was that they are ordinary men. Before he was a Soup Nazi, he was an ordinary man. A lot of people think they won't be Soup Nazis. You know, maybe Whitey Bulger was just a bad egg. Maybe he would have been okay if he didn't take acid for 18 months inside of a prison.
What happened to him after he left the prison? Or if he left
He
the
made a
prison?
lot of money.
He made a lot of money.
Yeah, what do you do? Let's look through this Wikipedia page. Early life, early criminal, prison. After his release, Bulger worked as a janitor and construction worker
Ah,
before becoming a bookmaker and a loan shark under
interesting.
mobster Donald Killeen, whose gang, the Killeens, had dominated South Boston for 20 years.
Fascinating. As like a
In
common.
71,
Hmm.
wait, I'm gonna just skim through this. Bulger set up to commit. Oh, so Bulger's first murder as a made guy, I guess. He was trying to kill a member of a rival gang, but the guy's brother in the other gang, who had nothing to do with his activities, was killed
Hmm.
in a case of mistaken identity.
Oh, that sucks. That's the worst thing that can like happen.
Who's this quote by? Apparently, so Billy O'Sullivan, some mob guy said, "Don't worry about it. He wasn't healthy anyway. He smoked. He would have gotten lung cancer." That's how he consoled him.
That's crazy.
I know he killed the wrong guy, but he would have just gotten lung cancer anyway.
That is crazy. They are truly a different breed of human.
So I think he realized he was on the losing side of the war. So he went to the other mob bosses and was like, "Hey, let me whack the guys I work for." And it's
Ah,
disputed whether he did it or some other guys did it. But that was his angle.
interesting.
Yeah, and he would just put pressure on bookmakers and loan sharks.
Mm,
So he went from like bullying normal people into giving him money to bullying the bullies into giving him money.
that's crazy.
Just in like a pyramid scheme of fuck shittery.
Yeah, it's quite the life to live, for sure. It's a big, it's a big shift.
He was a raging racist as well.
Oh,
He set fire to an elementary school
jeez.
because some judge wanted to desegregate.
Well, that's just downright insane.
So apparently the FBI tried to recruit him and they failed.
I like how they go for the sociopaths like that.
But then one of Bulger's friends ended up being a rat.
Hmm. I see.
Yeah. What was the movie they made about him? That was a good movie. I just the thing that interests me about the mobsters is how they live a double life, how they have the nice families.
Right.
I think the Iceman guy, the Kuklinski guy, just exemplifies it. How he had this beautiful wife, smart daughters,
Right.
would go home to them, be a perfectly sweet guy, um, until things started getting messed up and he started losing it. He was an unstable person,
Hmm.
but for a long time he was able to just keep a mask on.
Yeah.
Like,
That's something
he'd chop
crazy.
bodies up all day, pull them out of the freezer, watch them thaw out, dump them in the woods, and then kiss his wife and go to bed.
It's unbelievable.
He just lived like that.
It's completely unbelievable. Popping two more 30s real quick.
Two more.
Two more. That makes 5 total.
Brett finna hit Sigma. Finna become a Sigma male.
Mm. For real.
Yo, I'm gonna be right back.
Bet.
Whack.
And the swamp is giving me trouble. We're almost done. There's this way to explore and around the edges. I'd really like to upgrade my weapon again, because this isn't enough for dealing with the current enemies, so we have to. But at the same time, the vigor is so important. No, you don't. I did not know there were giant crabs here too, to be honest. If I did, I might have played this a little bit differently. I know the crabs. I know the crabs. I know how deadly the crabs are. I feel like I've angered multiple beings now. Wait. Oh my god. It's my friend. It's my friend! What an incredible time for him to show up. Yes. Stagger the sea beasts. How is this thing still alive? We're safe though, We can get some young white branches. Crown of Dusk. Young white branch. We're free to loot. We're safe. That was kind of
Why
intense
is it
though.
gotta be a white branch?
It's a it's from a white tree. It's our
I don't see
homie.
what's wrong with black trees.
There's some black trees. This one just
No.
happens to be white. I think it's supposed to symbolize peace, because thing is, you go to the white tree branch and you get pelted by arrows from a giant that's on top of a giant tower, and if you take one of the white tree branches from the tree, and then you go up to the tower and you give it to the giant, then he will he lets you he stops shooting arrows at you basically, and he will just help you whenever there's a white tree around and shoot arrows at the enemies instead of you. It's like a
Maybe the white tree is its mom, and
maybe.
by holding the branch, it thinks you're the mom.
Maybe. I think it's like kind of part of the gentle giant kind of archetype as well, where this guy is just kind of wrecking havoc senselessly, but when you actually talk to him, he's like totally chill. He just likes to shoot arrows out of his giant tower.
He just likes shooting them arrows.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Can't really fault a guy.
Yeah, for real. I hate the swamp area though, man. It's hard to
I
walk.
want to go to the swamp.
You gotta go to a swamp.
I want to go to a swamp.
They're kind of
I
treacherous
want
for
to see,
real.
I want to see Shrek.
It's easy to break a leg because you don't know how deep the water really is, and there's often like thick mud areas that will be very hard to travel across.
You just gotta walk correctly.
That's what everyone says before they break their legs in a swamp.
Famous last words.
Indeed, indeed.
What's the difference between a marsh and a swamp?
A marsh, I think, has grass in it. It's like water, like cleaner water, because there's like grass. But like a swamp is like it's in between a marsh and a bog. The water is still. It's not being cleaned by anything. It's just accumulating gunk.
Okay, because I'm familiar with marshland.
Yeah, marshland is
And
not
you're
the same
saying
as
that
swampland.
swampland is more treacherous?
It is definitely more treacherous than marshland. There's something about the grass, like it creates the root structure, right? And that root structure makes the ground stronger. But where there
Makes
are
sense.
no roots, the ground is much more treacherous. It's just mud.
You ever gotten your shoe stuck in mud?
Yes, for sure.
You just have to leave the shoe.
I've never had to leave the shoe, thankfully.
I did that when I was like 8. I was hiking with my grandpa.
Ouch.
And,
Oh, really?
I wanted to get this this plastic bottle someone threw. I was like,
Yeah.
litter.
Hmm.
And I ended up littering an entire shoe because I got swallowed up by the mud.
Oh, no way. That's
Now,
awful.
I
It's like
guess the shoe is biodegradable to an extent.
Yeah, for sure. I think rubber
got the bottle.
biodegrades.
I did get the plastic bottle.
So it was like a trade in the end.
Yeah.
You gave your shoe, and you took a
I
plastic
risked my
bottle.
life to trade. Is that how alchemy works?
Kinda. I mean,
Equivalent exchange? A shoe for a bottle?
a shoe for a bottle. I think there's definitely like some sort of like deep parable that you could draw from it, that in an attempt to clean up reality, you then like made it dirtier. And that simply allowing things to be the way they are is oftentimes the better choice.
I think the better choice would be to use a stick to bring the bottle next to me. So I can
Absolutely.
pick it up without walking into the mud.
Absolutely.
If there were crabs this size, nothing could stop them.
Yeah, you're right. We'd be completely fucked.
You ever heard of what happened to Amelia Earhart?
She got eaten by crabs?
Yeah,
No way. I didn't know that.
yeah, coconut crabs. That's the
Coconut crab.
theory. That's the leading hypothesis.
Interesting. That's a
She
horrible
crashed on
death.
some Pacific island.
Yeah.
It was probably bleeding out, and a bunch of crabs just start picking at her.
Jeepers. What an end. To fly over the Pacific and then crash and Mr. Krabs devours your soul.
Mr. Krabs just eats you
All you hear is
slowly. Just the scuttling of the
the,
little
scu-
crab legs.
the scuttling of the little crab legs approaching.
You know they were slow about it too. They were like picking at her to see if she'd react.
Oh yeah,
She'd
for
react a
sure.
bit. She would shake at him. She'd be like, "I get away," and then they would
Oh,
back up
jeepers.
and they would wait and they'd try it again. And eventually,
Right.
she was too weak to react, and she was just like, "Oh fuck,
Man,
this is
that's
how it
that's
goes."
dark.
It's not
It
going to be
is.
a bunch of like Aborigines who rushed him out of rescue.
Man, death by crabs is something I never really thought about before, but it's something profound. I'll look an item.
Hey, man, I might have crabs, but I got it from a gas station toilet seat. No weird stuff.
Oh, true.
I
Like,
swear it was the gas station toilet seat.
I believe you. Like your balls are itching.
No, I don't have crabs. No.
I don't judge you.
No, I'm good. That's like one thing I don't have is a venereal disease. I
Good.
guess it pays to be an incel.
True. Holy.
Although I might have herpes and not know it. Apparently that's the thing.
Yes, very possible. Because not all types are like transmittable and apparent. Like they can just appear dormant within you.
So I'll get an ingrown like mustache hair.
I don't think that's herpes. Oh, it might be
It
considered
has to be
herpes.
herpes, right?
It might be considered a type of herpes because like there's herpes that have nothing to do with like actual like the herpes that people think about, like the sexually transmitted herpes.
It's just a cold sore.
Yeah, but a cold sore is herpes by medical definition.
Well, it's just herpes. You have herpes.
Yeah.
Stop fronting on.
Oh, I'm not getting that item, I guess.
Because, like, I've probably kissed, like, less than 10 people. But I've shared blunts with, like, dozens.
Right. Word, but yeah, sharing a blunt doesn't mean that you will necessarily get herpes.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't have herpes.
Yeah, you probably don't. It's like
Yeah.
if you don't get someone's like open wound inside of your own open wound, then you don't have to worry.
Side note, if a chick is into blood play, she's trying to give you AIDS.
Good to know, because there was some virgin I was talking to that was very into blood play, so maybe they were
That's,
born with AIDS. So much for our little secret ritual.
that's a little fucked. I don't know how to respond to that.
Don't judge,
Dude, that
brother.
was like a popular thing for pastors to talk about. Is
Blood play?
no AIDS.
AIDS. Interesting.
Like the common story was like told a few different ways with different characters in different situations, but it was always some guy messed around, got AIDS, and then gave it to his child. So if you're thinking about cheating on your wife, don't.
Yeah, I think that's a good moral of the story, I guess, at least.
Yeah. It's probably true. That probably does happen.
I thought some people thought like someone like banged a chimpanzee or something.
No, I think that's a scientific fact now.
It's a scientific fact. It's weird.
Yeah, people were messing around with a bunch of monkeys, and now we have AIDS. That's how it happened.
It's kind of screwed up. They could have just like not messed around with the monkeys.
I mean, you can't fault the guy for trying.
Yeah, you're right. We wouldn't have known if they didn't try. Like,
I was just watching this documentary on a boxer,
mm,
and he had a legendary. What was his name? I don't want to guess, because I'm gonna get it wrong.
right.
I'm trying to look through my history. I don't know. The problem is I've fallen asleep the last 2 nights with YouTube playing, so there's a bunch of like just random like what the hell? How did that get there?
Oh
Like
yeah, for real.
questions.
I know those.
Anyway, yeah, it was back in a time when they thought you could transfer AIDS just by touching someone,
Ah, yeah.
and this guy respected his opponent so much that when he was banned from competing, he went to he was in prison too. I forget what he was in prison for. Hopefully, it wasn't something too bad because that would ruin the wholesomeness of the story.
Right.
But this guy's like pictured hugging him.
Mm.
So like months ago, they were punching each other, trying to make their brain touch their skull. And he's in his prison cell hugging him, and that just reminded me of Christ, how
Mm.
he would always not be afraid to lay hands on the sick, and how he would
Right.
visit the prisoners.
So true. Maybe he took inspiration from that. Entirely plausible.
Probably, yeah. He was from Peru.
Oh yeah, it's big there. A lot of Christians.
Yeah, probably like Mexico, how it's all Catholic.
Right. Or like even Brazil, right? Like they got that huge statue of Jesus.
Yeah, wasn't that put there by a bunch of like bad folk though?
Probably. I don't know who else is making giant statues of the Christ other than bad people. Why would you need a giant statue?
Yeah, I don't think Christ ever asked you to make big statues of him.
I think he asked for pretty much the opposite.
Dude, we need more people in the chat.
I know. No one's been sticking around tonight, which is okay. I
That
did
way,
post.
when we're like saying a bunch of stuff and we don't know about it, someone in the chat can be like, "Hey, you're wrong," and then give us information.
Yeah, for real.
That's the best way to learn is just to say the wrong thing and then be corrected.
Right. Yeah, if you're too afraid to screw up and make mistakes, you'll never learn anything. That's something I had to learn because I would just stay still because I knew that I would make mistakes and I was like I don't want to make mistakes, so let me just like not try. But in not trying, then I didn't grow.
I'm in a spot where I'm so embarrassed by what I've done that I don't want to do anything else.
I get that.
I feel like my name's been tainted. I feel like I have to like skip town.
Dude,
I
I
haven't
feel
even
that.
done anything that bad. I'm just kind of like a greaseball.
Right.
I can't hold a job. Fucking no. Any job I get, I'm the best person there.
Right.
But then I get to a point where I was like, I can't be around human beings.
It's too much
I need to go
strain.
to the woods for a little while, and I'll like disappear. And of course, you can't just disappear from a job.
Right.
They'll fire
I'm
you.
I'm the same way, brother. It's hard. It's really hard.
You know, I think I'll just get good with my hands and produce things to sell.
That's a good thing. What kind of
So
things?
I can take hunks of wood
Mm-hmm.
and I can turn them into furniture.
Right.
And if I get good, like it's good enough for me,
Right.
furniture I make. But if I can get a little bit better and make it beautiful, not just functional, but functional and beautiful,
Yeah.
and people will pay a lot of money for it, and then I can like, have insurance and eat food,
Absolutely.
but not have to be some sort of like what do they call it? It's not quite slavery. Indentured. I don't have to be an indentured servant to a company.
Right. And that's my dream too, is to use my
It's like,
talents and not rely on working for somebody, but work for myself. Because I know I have the talents and the intelligence to do so. It's just finding the niche and sticking with it, and like really believing in myself so that I can keep working at it and not give up. Because I've found the wave before where things were just growing all on their own and I was making so much progress, but then, like you say, sometimes things get real overwhelming and you need a minute to just sit back and grow.
yeah, I feel like I've been trying to my whole life. I've been trying to stand up on a sheet of ice.
Mm,
I'll get real close. I'm slipping. I'm slipping. I'll get down. I'll get back up. I'll slip, and then just like my legs get kicked out from under me.
mm-hmm. No, I feel
So it's
that
like
for
it's
real.
not even just ice. It's like ice with a thin layer of water on top of the ice to make it extra slick.
Right.
So anytime I stand up and I'm like, oh, I'm standing, let's go, and then I'm like, oh, I just banged my head and I'm on my ass. How'd this
Right.
happen?
I get that completely. I feel like it's like that for all of us, in that what happens is that most of us don't stand up. We just sit down on the ice and consider that enough. We don't worry about trying to stand up, trying to be more, and because it's hard, man. It's a crazy kind of
Well, you got to get off the ice. You can't just stand on ice your whole life. You'll die from the cold.
right, and a lot of people do. They just wither away.
Fucking hell. Oh, no,
Yeah.
I think if I understand nature, I can dominate nature to the
I think
point where it helps other people so much that they want to give me money.
I think
Like a
that
simple thing is like I'm growing some crops right now. I'm growing some crops in the backyard.
right.
Me and my pop. Imagine if I could just grow enough food to where I can eat that. Like have some rabbits, raise rabbits, and just grow beans and shit.
Right. I mean, I would say nature doesn't particularly like to be dominated. Um, when you're
Nah,
growing
you gotta dominate nature.
when you're growing crops, you're not dominating the crops. You simply let them do themselves, and they reward you for treating them well. I wouldn't consider that a sort of dominance. I would consider it more of a symbiotic coexistence. Instead of trying to dominate nature, one should strive to be one with nature, to accept it as a whole moving, living process that you are a part of, not something above or outside of it.
Hmm. So I'm more or less trying to tap into that trunk, get some of
Y-
that sweet syrup,
Yeah,
tap
and that
into it.
and that syrup is there for you. You don't have to fight for it. The world is full of abundance.
Let me
It's
get some of that scissor.
yeah, it's we have the mindset of scarcity. Like we were talking about this the other day. So you
Yeah.
can have all of the beauty in front of you and not see any of it. And man, that dream was prophetic for me, man. Like I lived that out the next few weeks where so vividly where I felt like everything that I wanted was right there and I could not access any of it. I fulfilled all of my carnal desires. I had all of the attention that anyone could ever want. And it was not enough because I wasn't there. I had to slow down. I had to really get back into my body and feel things, like the raw perception of it.
I think I need to spend more time in the woods.
Absolutely, me too. So I was thinking of
I've
going
always
to the
felt the
woods.
best.
The woods heal you, man.
for sure. It's just weird, bro. I can't, because I would always be out there with my dog.
Mm. No,
I gotta
you.
do it by my lonely for a little bit.
Mm.
I gotta make a couple bands by my lonely.
You'll learn to carry her in your heart, you know?
Oh, for sure.
You won't feel like you are so distant from her anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to feel this no more. Because I just want to.
Because you
Fucking
aren't.
hell.
You aren't distant, right? That's the thing,
It do be
right?
like that.
It do be like that. When you experience the loss, it feels like something from you has been taken, but in a way, nothing's changed. You know, the connection is still there. It's just harder to tap into it now that the tangible forms are not right in front of you. Because you become attached to those tangible forms and not the essence of the experience. But that essence is eternal forever.
It's not every day you see a perfect animal.
No, absolutely not. It takes time to see the perfection in something, to be able to see beyond the so-called imperfections that the mind always wants to create, and it's always trying to pick apart and compartmentalize things in an attempt to understand it better. It takes time to really see things as they are. I'm going to die.
Don't lose to this weird crystal.
I'm not losing to this
Gator
crystal,
thing.
dude, bro. Not happening.
Looks like a salamander.
Yeah, it's
Almost.
like a crystal. It's a crystal lizard. He
Oh,
drops
you
tight.
got his ass.
Yeah, he did. He dropped some Titanite scales for me too, and great magic weapon, which is just a better version of the current thing I'm using right now. This takes me back. This is like a shortcut. It's like a shortcut back to the earlier area that we were at before. This guy's a little bit of a maniac, very erratic. But he did. We don't gotta go this way. This is I just went there to kill the crystal lizard for the loot. And we go back up the other way. And there's the next boss, which will take us down to the catacombs of
Nature is
Carthus.
truly abundance.
It is absolutely, you're right. It is full of abundance everywhere you look. Life is
What do
growing.
you think about this noble savage idea?
The noble savage. That,
Yeah,
that
I would used to talk about how like, yeah, man, if I could just get closer to the earth, if I could just have my dog with myself and my wife in a hut and live off the land, I'd probably feel a lot better. People would be
right.
like, "Oh, that's a noble savage fallacy." They would call it a fallacy.
A fallacy. Interesting. I guess I can see the fallacy in it. That, because it's kind of like a, oh, the grass is greener if things were this way kind of mentality. Whereas there is abundance everywhere, right? Even this is still nature. What we're experiencing right now is still nature, and there's still abundance here. The fact that we're able to communicate with each other despite being so far apart, the fact that we have the opportunity to broadcast
That is pretty
ourselves
cool.
out to the world, that's all abundance. It's all nature has formed this for us so that we can connect and evolve.
Yeah, like without the internet, I wouldn't know that there was a war in Israel. But with the
Absolutely.
internet, I literally had a conversation with a dude in the midst of it.
Right.
It's
That's
like I could just tap in anywhere.
anywhere. That's a gift. It's an absolute
Although
gift. It
I
hurts sometimes, but it
maybe
is a
it
gift.
just comes down to personality. I would
Mm.
trade that for a creek with some woodland
I don't think there's anything
with some
wrong with that.
hogs and some deer.
Hey, here's the thing though. You don't gotta trade. You can have your cake and eat it too.
That's true. I can run some Ethernet from the local city
Yeah.
from my little plot.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to stress about having one or the other. We live in a time where we're so lucky that we can have both.
I can grow spirulina in the backyard, and
Yeah,
I can let local hunters take pot shots at my deer.
that sounds like the
I
life.
can I can make hemp shirts.
Yeah, build like
I can also
hemp buildings
build websites for local businesses.
for sure.
There's a lot of options open. I gotta stop being a lazy son of a bitch.
Right? You have to just do something. Anything. The fact that you are doing something for yourself is the biggest step that you can take. It doesn't matter how small that something is. It doesn't matter. It's just the fact that you are beginning to do something in itself that changes the way the mind works. It changes the way that you experience things.
Yeah. I definitely gotta start making money soon because this
Yeah.
nest egg will only last so long.
Right. I feel you. Yeah, I gotta get a job
But
real
my
time.
main priority right now is the volunteering, just working with animals, just getting close to dogs.
Hmm.
Because I think that's gonna get my mind right. That's gonna help the dogs. It's gonna help people because people are gonna see those dogs, how well behaved they are, because they've been working with some competent people. They're gonna go into their home and they're gonna be a light, just like Kaya was. That man, that's something that'll make me wake up every day and
Right.
get going. You need
Absolutely.
something that'll get you up and get going.
Absolutely. And it can be hard to find that for sure. It's really hard to find that, especially after a big loss. Especially after a big loss, it's like nothing is ever gonna fill that void. But you don't have to worry about filling the void because the void is already full. If you know what I'm saying.
I agree with that from a personal standpoint and a martial standpoint.
Hmm.
I think whatever Jesus said, I take to be fact. Whatever
Hmm.
Miyamoto Musashi said, I take to be fact.
Right.
That's like I guess my worldview is based upon a couple texts, a few
Right.
texts.
Just a few texts, which is good. If you read too
The
much, it can be treacherous as well. There's a burden that comes with too much head knowledge and not enough integration.
what's that quote?
Like the young
Let me look
quote.
some up right quick. Mao Zedong. To read too many books is harmful.
Mm. That's it. That's the whole quote. It's short and sweet. Absolutely true. Because if you're reading books to try and find reality, then you're missing the forest for the trees.
Yeah,
Reality is right
even
in front
Marcus
of you.
Aurelius would talk about how his vice was reading books. He was too stuck in books.
Interesting. I didn't know about that.
I don't know too much about it,
Yeah, I never
but
read
it's an interesting
Meditations.
parallel.
Yeah.
Although I've heard that Mao Zedong was an evil person.
Yes. Though again, like we were talking before about like the different kinds of evil and how sometimes evil can lead to positive change in the way of evolution. You know, natural selection is not something kind in the way that we would wish it was.
At any rate, he was a successful person.
Yes, I would say so.
I think
And a,
probably the communization of China was a bad thing,
yeah,
but for a human being to be able to do something of that magnitude is notable.
it is
It's not
insane. And one could say
it's
it
not
wasn't
commendable, but it is something you should probably be aware of and to look into.
right. What creates a person to be able to do something like that? And I would say it's not all up to the individual per se, but rather it's more than just the individual. It's you know, the whole system was heading towards a sort of change, and one person just so happened to be like a sort of catalyst for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a visualization for this.
It's like
The
it's
way
like
these things work.
forests will go through
It's
changes.
like so a wave is produced by the energy of a good portion of the ocean,
Mm,
but what you recognize is that white tip.
right. Absolutely.
I
That's a
guess
perfect analogy.
these massive figures are people who just found themselves at the crest of these waves.
Right.
Yeah, so much energy behind it that's not visible, but there's this portion that's visible, and we assign what happened to that person. Which is a interesting observation on how the human intellect works.
Absolutely.
They're always looking for a scapegoat
Mm-hmm. Because
because
it's hard to see the whole ocean at once. That dissolves you. To see the whole ocean at once dissolves your own individuality. Because you have to recognize that you're part of this ocean and that the things that you do are impacted by the greater whole. And that is an ego death of sorts. Well, that was very convenient. Thank you, Abyss Watchers. Is there a second phase to this fight?
kill this guy.
I think it's not over, man. I don't think it's over.
He's gonna his head's gonna explode and he's gonna become a big boss, or they're all gonna combine.
Yeah, they're all combining.
They're combining. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh boy.
Forming a blood spirit bomb.
Oh god. And we're out of heals. We're about to be in for. Oh, and his sword gets on fire. I love that. Hold on, I'm adjusting my posture real quick. I don't have any heals left. Yeah, exactly. Now is like time to dial in for real. I gotta brush my hair out of my face. Use the headphones to pull it back.
For a moment, but
It's gonna get quiet
that's
for a
because
moment.
this gameplay is crazy.
We can do it. I know I can.
You got this, bro. Let go.
Whew. We got
Not a good
smoked
start.
right off the bat. Right off the bat.
Now you read them.
I read him now.
No,
we
you're
know.
dead. Oh, you're dead.
I'm dead.
But
I'm
next
dead.
time,
Next time, for sure. Hello.
next time you got his ass.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know what he's about.
We got this. We got this for sure. We'll try and
Dude, if I
lose
was
some health.
if I was in this situation, that weapon you have in your right hand,
My right hand, yes. The Lucerne.
what is that?
It's kind of like a,
What are they
a
called,
small
those?
halberd of sorts.
No, it's a warhammer. It's got that beak on it. There's a special term for that.
It's called a Lucerne.
Lucerne.
A Lucerne. That's like the at least what it's called in this game. And usually this game is pretty accurate to like what the real names of the weapons are, because it draws from real life. Found out about a lot of cool weapons that I didn't know about from this game. Okay, I need to play more defensively. Like, I was much aggressive, but this guy's fast. And if you play too aggressive with someone who's fast, then you get punished very quickly for your mistakes, you know?
The Corbin.
Wow. They ate me up.
Is this like towards the end of the game? Because you're getting...
We're in the first quarter of the game.
You better get good, my guy.
That's what it does, though. It continually forces you to get good, because it keeps giving you challenges that will push you to your limit, and then you have to get better, or else you will get stuck.
Yeah, the Bechta Corbin is the best overall weapon for medieval warfare.
The Bechta Corbin.
I'm willing to argue that for till the end of time.
So what is the Bechta Corbin?
So it's very similar to what you have in your right hand. In fact, I believe it's the same thing.
It could very well
You've
be.
got a warhammer there, an impacting surface. You have a beak, which is like a pick.
Yes.
And you have a spear.
It's literally
so you have
everything.
every option available to you. It's on the end of a stick. It does a lot of damage.
It's a French weapon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought. This time we got better reads on him.
How much does this one cost?
The long-handed weapons...
Oh, discontinued.
Discontinued?
My dumbass is gonna buy one of these.
It would be super sick. You could make one, I bet, pretty easy.
I have... you ever heard of Cold Steel?
Cold Steel.
It's an American company that makes, like... You ever heard the term Mall Ninja?
Mall Ninja. Nah, besides, like, Paul Blart.
Similar.
Word?
Basically, like, people who are obsessed with, like, being tactical, having, like, these medieval weapons.
Interesting.
I don't know. It's like the most dweebish version of someone who's interested in weapons.
Right.
That's me.
I see. I see. Hold on.
Steel is like the Mall Ninja's wet dream. Anyway,
wet dream.
They make a warhammer that is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm 6'2".
Right.
I have a normal wingspan for a guy my height.
You're taller than me.
The entire length of the warhammer is, like, with the haft and everything, it's from the tip of my middle finger to my shoulder.
Right.
It's got this impact surface that, instead of just being a flat diamond like you see in most medieval weapons,
right,
because
they know what they're doing.
Yeah, well, this one's actually, it goes in the four corners of the diamond. It goes down into four smaller diamonds, so that you have a smaller striking surface.
Right, and that's good, because all the impact is condensed on one area, and you need that to pierce armor.
It's concentrated.
Yeah.
And then the back end has a pick.
Oh my lord.
I love swords. I'm obsessed with swords. But you can't beat a claw hammer.
No, you can't.
I'd rather have a claw hammer than most swords. Like a normal handyman claw hammer.
No, the hammer is an insane weapon.
Hammers are overpowered.
They are. My god, these guys are relentless. It was funny, I never struggled with this boss before in my other playthroughs, but I'm getting eviscerated. What changed about the way that I perceive this?
Too many R30s. Ooh,
Nah, it can't be
not
that.
enough.
It would be not enough, because I was on more authorities before. Something about the way that I'm playing it is different than before. Before, I had a very good grip on where they were. I never felt overwhelmed by their manyness. I felt like their manyness was more of a benefit than anything. But it seems that my positioning now is allowing them to just gank me. And I'm not able to maneuver around the arena in a way that is allowing them to attack each other more than they attack me. So I need to change the way that I am positioning myself.
I think you just need to pump the jab.
Yeah, I think I do need to pump the jab, you're right. I think that's just what I'll do, to be honest. We're just gonna pump it. He staggers.
Yeah, just work the jab.
Yeah, just like this, just like this. Just be ready. I didn't expect him to spin like that. Okay, let's not get too... See, this is when you get reckless, because you get a bunch of good hits off, and you think that it's going to stay like that, and then you almost get killed so fast. Now, these two are going to go at it. I'm free to go for the real boss. The leader of the group. We're going to play it smooth. Keep it smooth. Keep it smooth. Now, this is a good first phase. We've almost all of our health still. Okay, now it seems they've finished having their fun together. So let's let them recongregate, fight each other. Now we're safe. And we have most of our heals.
He just killed his friend.
Yes. They're like in a constant clone battle. Like they keep arising out of the dusk and killing each other to hone their strength. It's like evolution in motion.
This is a good game.
It is a very good game.
I think it's too difficult for me. I'll probably get frustrated.
It will frustrate you, and I think that's part of the experience. It's meant to frustrate you. It's meant to make you come face to face with that parts of yourself that make you think that you can't get farther, that you can't accomplish things, and challenge them. And it will show you that if you continue to try, then you can beat what seems like completely inconceivable odds.
I don't know. I also run the risk of spending way too much time on it.
It's a fair risk. This time he hasn't got me like he did last time. Ooh, he did hit me with that though, still. It's so artistic. Ooh, come on, let me heal. Just let me heal. Ah.
Now you're not gonna get that heal, bro.
I'm not gonna get that heal. You're right. I'm not gonna get that heal. I have to wait for a bigger opening. I shouldn't frantically try and heal.
That panic healing is what's gonna put you down.
You're right. See, it makes you overcome all of those urges. The urge to panic, the fight or flight response that happens when stimuli gets very intense.
If I play this game, will it make me better at boxing?
It will make you better at boxing, I believe, because it's very much a rhythm game. You have to bob and weave, look for openings, look for the small little things. You know, you're always reading, telegraphing your opponent to be able to see what they're going to do. You have to be very perceptive if you don't want to get hit. Like, see, he gives context clues on what he's going to do. I didn't read them fast enough, so I got hit. So even now, like...
Man, he telegraphing.
He's telegraphing. You can read him. See, that was a risky play there to try and take that hit, because I saw him swinging for it, but I thought I could get my hit off faster, and I did. I'm lucky. But this part is the hard part when both of them are at, before the third one rises. When the third one rises, we're in a little bit of a better situation. The third one fights the other two.
They start fucking each other up.
Yeah. Now it begins.
Just keep rolling. Why not? Just roll your way to victory.
The thing is that they won't kill each other. I have to deal damage. They don't deal enough damage to each other. What happens is, yeah, they're gonna return. Wowzers. Wowzers. Well, I'm not leaving this chair until this boss is dead.
You just gotta hone in.
I'm honing in. And just keep dialing in deeper and deeper. What happens often is that you'll get a bunch of really good runs in, and then you start falling off a little bit because of all the information that you gathered from those earlier runs. And then you have to kind of integrate the information back into your body, turn it from head knowledge into muscle memory, and then you really go off.
So what you're saying is go ultra instinct.
Exactly. Now this game will put you in an altered state of consciousness. Because without it, you can't win. Without it, you can't win the game.
Low mindset.
It forces you to go into that Zen state. It tries to beat you into submission almost. Because you have to dance with it. You can't play your own way. You find your own openings within the dance, but you have to watch the dance. You can't just brute force your way. We're in a horrible situation right now, but I think we're gonna live. Turn. Got that good hit off. There we go. Now that was beautiful. Let's
Perfectly timed.
Yes. Let's not get too hasty. I buff my weapon while I can. Keep the opening. You're hitting nobody, brother. You got a little bit lost there. I caught you lacking. I capitalized on it hard. No, I'm not gonna watch the cutscene this time. I'm just going for it. Actually, it might make me watch the cutscene.
Baby. Ain't nothing but a peanut.
Let's go. Very little time to think. Yup. We're good. He's gonna dash. Now's the opportunity to get a hit. Watch my stamina. He's backing up. He's gonna dash. Heal. Roll. That was an early roll. Got him staggered. Heal. That's fine. That's not fine. This is fine though. Nope. Back it up. Ooh. Close call. That fire is crazy. I don't know what that is. He did not get me with it though. It's an attack I will definitely watch out for in the future. And he's got that dagger in his left hand. It's very dangerous. He got me that time. Forget that.
He's using the rolling thread as well.
Yes, he's very nimble. This is my last heal, so no more mistakes. Oh, we did good that time. We did good that time. We got very close to the end. Very close to the end.
You learned a lot. You got much closer.
For real.
I think you have his number.
I think I have his number as well. If I didn't make the mistakes that I did, there were a few attacks that he pulled out that I was not well aware of. But now I think I got a better grasp of what he does. And that first phase, I think I'm really getting the hang of avoiding. We ran out of heals though, so we're trying to be a little bit more defensive in the first phase. if not more offensive. Here, hold on. Let me try and get this off before I enter the fight. That's a little bit of damage, but it's nothing severe. Okay, he's gonna rush me.
Just fucking frame perfect juggle him, bro.
That's a bad start, but a bad start doesn't mean anything. Bad start is completely meaningless. It's all about how you capitalize on it after. The second one is risen. I saw him in the corner of my vision, but not early enough to do something about it. That was a greedy move there. Someone's probably going to try and stab me in my back very soon. Oof. We need to get out of the clusterfuck here. Just like move back. They're distracted. Which means I can capitalize and deal with it. Breathe. He has too much poise when he does that. It's not an opportunity for me to get an attack off. I need to remember that. This here is an opportunity. This isn't. This is. We got him good. Not get punished. Now's the opening. Oh, his dagger, man. His dagger is so strong. It sounds like someone's risen again. Yep, they're fighting. We're gonna be in trouble very soon. We might not make it past the first phase this time, but I also feel like we learned a lot about the first phase. Ooh. I'm gonna try my absolute best to get past the first phase at least. Another one of the corrupted Abyss Watchers has risen now, so they're gonna start fighting each other. And this is my chance to end it. Let's go. Ooh, right off the bat. Right out the gate.
Light work.
Ooh, what a move. And the flashiness of all of his moves, too, is like... It intimidates you, right?
Tear him a new one, Snorri.
Ooh, still alive.
Give him the old dick twist.
Ah, that fire. If we had heals, we could have done it for sure. But we have to clean up that first phase. We have to clean up that first phase. It has to be perfect. It's perfect. Can't be any mistakes. Can't be leaking health the way I am. I have to be cautious, calm, collected.
I think you're being a bit sloppy.
You're right.
You need to clean it up. You remind me of Sloppy Joe.
Nah, Slappy Joe. At least I'm not Sleepy Joe. You guys are gonna let me do it this time, aren't you? Yep, too slow.
Oh, speedrun strats.
He's gonna dash, and I'm gonna punish. Bad trade. Well, actually, good trade overall.
Lick him, come on.
That was the perfect start. My roll there was a little bit. Okay, let's not have our. It was a perfect beginning, but a very quick end. A very quick end. Because they're relentless, man. They're relentless. They don't let you breathe. And you can't...
I think you were a bit off.
I think I'm a bit off. What do you think I should have done better there?
I think you should try to get hit not as much and try to hit them more.
I think you're right about that. I think there's something really profound about that statement, is like, I am playing too offensively. And then when I try to play defense, I play...
I would just pump that jab.
Yeah, I have to pump the jab, but I have to know when to pump the jab and when to like hit the brakes. You know,
Well, the only way you're gonna know when to do gas or brake is if you pump the jab. That's how you learn.
it's true.
That's how
It's
you
through
exchange
experience.
information.
I think this is a good start
But when
again.
you pump the jab, you want to make sure that you're getting more information than you're giving.
Right. We just need to. Now's the time to play defensively because there's two of them. I don't know what happened, but that hit felt like personal. Like I felt it in my soul. Yeah, I was the one who got stabbed there. We can kill his doppelganger. Nah, it's too fast. The more I try and trade hits with it, the more I realize it's the stupidest thing I could possibly do. They're distracted now. Good. Lock off, and recollect.
What you need to do is bide your time and wait for your opening.
Absolutely. He's gonna rush me. I don't really want to hit you. You're my friend.
Now that's teamwork.
For real. Punished all the way. Good night. Good night. Now we breathe. He's gonna be close to me, I think. Maybe not. Maybe not. We get that lock on. He's giving me time to buff myself again.
Yeah, just don't get hit.
Yep. On it. That's fine.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count. And then he does his little jump, and then we dodge that. And then we heal. He's gonna try it again. He rushes me. I have to remember, fire continues after the rush. That's a heal. Ooh, that one came out fast. That was an early dodge, but he didn't punish it. Happy about that. We have a second. We have just a second to breathe. And this is a punish. We got one more. Nope, that one more was just too late. I hesitated. Oh. Ah, greed. Greed, man, greed. What a
Yeah, this is
boss.
definitely a patience-based boss.
I
Is there a
agreed.
heavy versus light attack in this game?
There is a heavy versus light attack, yes. This is my heavy.
I think you want to pepper him, and it's just going to take a long time.
So you want me to stick with the light attacks, mostly play defensive?
Yeah, you just have to look for those little gaps and then just pick them,
Agreed. I think getting
and
better
you're
at
just going to have to
dodging.
play his game.
I agree with you. Because trying not to play his game is only led to me getting smacked. Like, a lot of the blunder in this fight right now is happening because I try too hard to get hits off, and then I get punished for it.
You got to slow down to speed up.
Yes, agreed. We let him come. He is so fast, man. It's like this is an opening. But he backsteps. So slick with it.
You should not get hit in this first part.
See how he feints, holds his weapon up like he's gonna hit you but doesn't? He's on your toes. Ooh.
Yeah, it's actually a good move.
Mm-hmm. Getting rushed. Whoa. I thought that was the end of the combo. One of you I can take on. Nope, I'm being greedy, but I think it wasn't too treacherous. Managed to capitalize off of it. Now it's back to the real game, just me and him. Yeah, you're leaving yourself open. I know an opening when I see it. It's fine. We got two of them, but there is the enemy as well. So we have space. Taking our time in the first fight is extra important just because they will indeed... There's like attrition that goes on. So working the defensive skills is important. Dude, with like the choir and everything in the background, I'm getting like goosebumps. I feel so intense. It was a bad time to heal. It's a rough first phase.
So what sort of sword are they using?
He has a dagger in his left hand and a great sword in his right hand. So he
Using great sword.
Yeah, he swings with the great sword when you are afar, and then when you try and come close, he hits you with a dagger. So he's got himself very well covered. So when he can hit you heavy and hard, and then when you don't expect it, that dagger, you get the dagger to your face when you try and punish him.
It's a weird type of dagger.
It is a weird type of dagger, I agree. It's like a hand dagger of sorts. It's like it's a reverse grip kind of scythe dagger. You get his weapon if you kill him. It's a very interesting one.
It's like a backwards Kanjar.
For real. Right. You both get glowing weapons.
It's almost like a karambit shape.
It is
Like a stretched out karambit.
My lord. I've never struggled so much with this guy. Usually I take him first try. But I'm happy though, because now people say this boss fight is like one of the best boss fights in the game, and I never got it before. Like, I didn't understand why it was a good boss fight, because it always went by so quickly for me. But now I can see how incredible of a boss fight it is.
Yeah, there's not very many openings.
They're very, very short. Very short. Like, you notice sometimes I will get a lot of them off. And I can take like half his health bar in one go. Like, here's one. Here's a big one. And look, he staggers. So I can use all my stamina, but now I have to recover. And if I don't recover safely, he will punish me heavily. See, look, that's like more than half of his health bar down, all at once. And we still haven't healed.
Till his buddy comes in.
Yeah, and his buddy makes things a little bit more complicated, but then his enemy comes in too, and things are balanced again. So yeah, you're right about biding your time. I'm just gonna try and, like, get the kill blow. Okay, I'm retreating though. This is a good time to heal in this one. That was the best first phase we've ever gotten, and probably the best first phase we will ever get. So, we're going in. Yeah, to save that stamina though. You know what? Let me recast this. was a very bad roll, but he's a little bit confused right now where I am. We're good. Okay, I need to roll a little bit later on that one. Chill. 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 I need to be faster with my heals too. Like, the second he's finished attacking is heal time. I'm really struggling to get the timing right with these. This was good. This is a heal. Go back. Recover the stamina.
He switches it up, though.
I know. That's the thing. He has the 2 weapons, not just one. He has the daggers. No. Do not get greedy now. Do not get greedy now. Pure luck that didn't hit me. Pure luck. But we took it. Oh, bro.
Staying there. Good stuff.
I'm off my chair. I had to touch the ground a little bit. I touched the ground a little bit. Breathe.
That was clean.
That was a good one. Oh. What a fight. What a fight. I have brand new respect for the Abyss Watchers that I'd never had before. I'd never seen that side of the fight before, but that really brought a lot out of me. And then what you see here, the back. You'll see. Well, we're not really supposed to ride that out. But a new opening opens to a
Better get some juicy loot off that.
Yeah, there is some juicy loot. You get a sword. It doesn't get
on fire, John?
No, it doesn't catch on fire in this, but it does. You can do like the dagger parrying, and the combination like the flips that he does, and everything. Like you can do all of that. Well, this place is a very special kind of dangerous.
I do like the mechanics of it.
Absolutely.
They're not totally unrealistic.
I feel you.
There's like a physicality to them that's satisfying.
Yes, I would agree with that for sure. It feels very visceral and satisfying, the gameplay. It doesn't feel like something floaty. And this is the Karthus Pyromancy Tome, which is basically why it came down here. It will allow me to set my weapons on fire. It's the spell that does that. You can't apply it to certain boss weapons, though, like the Abyss Watcher's Greatsword. I think it's the Farron Greatsword it's called. So we might not pick the Farron Greatsword up on this and just try and do a Lucerne-only build. I'm kind of growing to love the Lucerne, you know? Like this little...
That's your style.
Yeah, it fits me nicely.
Kinda pick your shots, kind of heavy hitting weapon.
Pardon?
It's a very pick your shots, heavy hitting weapon.
Yeah. When it strikes hard. It feels good. It's nimble, but it hurts. And it's got reach, which I appreciate. This is a pressure plate for a trap. And there's also a dude with the skeleton. The arrow here. Very rude. There's likely loot to be found around here. I think these skeletons are treacherous. You don't see them. They just animate from the ground. So it's very quickly that you can get ganked up on. This guy's
So
stuck
like,
under the
how do
wall.
they work? They ain't got no muscle. How do they move?
They're being animated by a necromancer.
Why do they move like people with muscle then? Why don't they just move in weird ways?
I don't know. Imagine if your muscle was only like an energy field, like an electromagnetic energy field that moved you, and then
I feel
thus,
like they can move in much more unorthodox manner.
absolutely, I think maybe because it's not so solid of a energy field in which that is moving them.
Like I would just start shooting my little phalanges at people in their
Right.
eyes.
I feel you.
That would be a cool concept. I don't know how you would employ that in media. Yeah, having like a disembodied skeleton move more independently each bone.
Right. Well,
Or
actually,
if you imagine
well,
it was a puppet,
mm,
then there would be like 10 points of control for the entire body,
right.
and then various intersections of those points of control.
Oh, I feel that. That's interesting. Interesting
I
thought.
have more respect for puppeteers than I used to.
No, puppeteers would go crazy. Be able to bring an inanimate object to life is no simple feat. It takes a lot of precise control. Now this is a little bit of an annoying area. You'll see why in a second. That would be why. And you know what's really funny about this boulder?
The hell is that?
It's a giant boulder. It also rolls uphill.
Oh no. That don't make no sense.
That don't make no sense. This guy is controlling him. The guy with the hat.
You
Now
better
watch
kill
this.
that motherfucker.
It explodes. And undead bone shard, which we can burn at the fireplace to boost our Estus flasks, which means more healing. Which I think
Let's
we will do.
go.
My hip is starting, like my hip bursitis is starting to act up. Like I'm starting to have to like contort my body in weird ways to be able to continue sitting down. So it's like time to call it quits.
Yeah, what do you do for that? Just lay down, or do you
Just lay
walk
down.
around a bit?
Lay down first. When the swelling goes down, then I start moving. It hurts a lot to start moving right away, but once I lay down, especially if I like meditate, do like body relaxation techniques, then that helps a lot. And then from there, I start doing movement to get fluidity back in the joints.
Do you think if you squatted instead of sitting, would that help?
Hmm. No, I never really thought about that before. The cart this milk ring is good.
Because I've heard that sitting is not a very natural position.
It isn't.
Humans were never meant to sit for long periods of time.
Yes, you're right.
But one time I squatted on a rock, like a round rock, for
Right.
20 minutes straight without moving.
How was that?
And
What was that experience like?
it was comfortable until the very end.
Hmm.
At the end, I started to feel my quads
Ooh.
shorten,
Oh yeah.
and that's when I stopped before I, snapped something or something.
Right.
But
Yeah, you can
squatting
feel the
on like
pull.
level ground, I can do that for upwards of an hour.
That's crazy.
Like right now, I'm squatting, but my lower back is supported by the bottom of the couch, like the front of the couch.
Right. I just like changed my position to like the very very edge of my seat so that only the base of my spine is on my chair. And now I'm in a more kind of squatting position. There's just the tip of my spine that's currently resting on my seat, and it does feel like it's relieved a lot of the pressure that is on my hip.
Hmm.
Feels like it's going straight up my back now instead of directly onto my hip.
You ever tried a standing setup?
My desk is too low. Okay, I really don't want to die here because I have a lot of souls, and if I don't get them back, I'm gonna be pretty sad. I overextended myself a little bit. Not you. Yeah. Into the abyss you go. Trying to recover our
Nice.
souls. Yeah, to do a standing, like if I stood right now, first of all, my microphone is below me, so the auditory, it changes. And I'd have to slouch to be able to use my mouse and keyboard. It's not comfortable. I can feel the strain on my abdomen. But if I could find like a more elevated way to have my setup, then a standing setup would absolutely be worth it.
I made a standing desk out of a leftover piece of I forget what they call it, but it's a type of wood panel they use for sheds,
Oh yeah.
and then a pallet. So I made a standing desk out of that.
Oh, that's insane.
But you could also just like stack books or some shit. I don't know.
I would need to have like a standing desk for sure. And it would be tricky. Okay, my current desk is too small for me. It's been too small for me, and I've been meaning to change it for quite some time. But I've just been kind of dealing with it.
Could you put it on top of cinder blocks or something?
Hmm.
Get a couple of cinder blocks from the local
My souls.
hardware store.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea, absolutely. Okay, that dead
Crates.
hurt. Should have just went and took my level up, but I'm always so greedy.
You gotta go for broke though.
Yeah. Yeah, this game makes you face the impermanence. So you'll keep losing your progress, but it doesn't really set you back all that much. You just have to go and do it again. And try harder next time. This is the pyromancer guy. We give him the Karthus pyromancy tome. And he will give us Karthus flame arc once we can save up 10,000 souls. And this one will allow us to inflame our weapons at will, which is very useful for a lot of fights. Similar to the magic weapon that I'm using right now. It does a little bit more damage. This is our blacksmith over here, Andre. He just chills here. He's a good guy.
Seems chill.
Yeah, he allows us to change whether we want our flasks to restore our mana or our health. I keep it on health right now because I don't really need the mana. I'm not using good heavy, and he lets us reinforce our weapons too, or infuse them with special powers that will change the way that they operate. Like the sharp gem makes it scale higher with dexterity, do more damage.
I gotta eat some food. Probably knock out soon. It's been good talking with you, brother.
Awesome. Then I'm gonna close up the stream too, cause I'm sore as hell. Thank you for joining me. It has been a wonderful time. It's great to talk to you today. Much love, brother.
Have a good day.
You too. Thank you, stream, for showing up. I love you all so much. Hope you guys have a wonderful time. Peace.